All right, let's see if we get us a live mic on Facebook and YouTube. So I can't believe, Couch Coach, you didn't like John Ward. How do you not like John Ward?
Oh no, I do. I just had to prepare my stomach and everything just accordingly to hear all that long intro that came through and everything. You can't just like spring that up on somebody cold turkey. I have to like mentally prepare myself for my anti-nausea medicine and everything else, and then it works out fine. So.
Well, what about Larry Munson? We'd have to stumble. You know what I had to stomach every time I seen that hobnail boot? Come on, Couch Coach.
Hey, you know what?
That was horrible. That was the worst call in radio history.
Hey, you know what? The funny thing about that is I was a student at UGA, and the very next day, I'm talking like that, or really 2 days later, I guess the game happened on Saturday, and then I went to the bookstore on Monday, and I'm talking like they had cranked out shirts all over the place with hobnail boots. So those guys were busy Saturday night, Sunday, popping those things out, and they were going for like 25, 30 a pop. I mean, it was. Larry Munson was such a legend, man. He had his little movie group around Athens, and I'd go in this little movie group with him, and he'd give like these movie reviews, and he'd be like, "Oh, The Notebook, the group gave it a B. I'd give it a C minus," And so he wears his Velcro shoes to the movie theater like an old man. So yeah, he was cool, man. But,
all right, Billy, before we start this stream, Billy, go to the OBS and make sure the desktop audio is all the way up. Make sure that your microphone is about -10, and we'll get this show started.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about, I guess, basketball, and then my team staying out of jail. What else are we talking about?
Yeah, some WWE, old school wrestling. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but we're getting guys. I know y'all are logging in. I see y'all starting to chat in the YouTube side. I can't see Facebook right now, but I'm sure you're out there. This is a new technology. I'm in the middle of nowhere in Arkansas, headed to Salt Lake City, and Billy's back in the Volunteer Roadshow studios. But are you ready to do this, Billy?
Hey, let's get it started.
All right, go ahead and give us a countdown.
All right, guys. On 3, guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? That's right. We're back. We're stronger than ever. I kept telling you guys we're working on a studio, Billy Ratliff's house, and we've got a lot in store. I thought we'd have us a former basketball player on the show today, but didn't work out. I'm under the gun on this truck. I've got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. We couldn't get our boys together, but Billy's going to try to do a pre-recorded interview with Tony Harris and CJ Black, hopefully this week. Just our schedules didn't work out. But how you doing, Billy?
Hey, Bobby, I'm doing great, man. I'm just happy to finally be able to let everybody see what I look like, man. It's crazy that I'm actually on TV or on live. I've never done this before, and this is amazing, man.
I tell you what, this isn't. I'm not trying to insult you because you're a big old young, and I spent 2 days with you. We had soul food together, but you look a lot better. A lot better in that picture, man. You were intimidating in that number 40 picture with that helmet on and you flexing.
Hey, those were the good old days, man.
We got you on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me, man. You got a chance to see a lot of good things, man.
Well, we got Catfish and Couch Coach and Billy Ratliff. And Couch Coach, your boys have been in trouble. I'm going to give you a few minutes to get on the soapbox and tell everybody what's going on down in Athens and what's your remedy for it.
Okay, first off, I'm glad to be back on. I know I'm sorry I was preempted here, but the Couch Coach is back. The all-time knowingest, the all-time winningest Couch Coach is back. And you know what? You guys just need to ease up on my boys a little bit. Look, our guys are going to have a fun time. I need that Athens PD to lay off and just realize that we got a football team we have to put together, and let those who have not had a 3-day weekend in Athens cast the first stone. All right, you survive that bad boy, and then you come back and you cast judgment on my team. So luckily Kirby's a good recruiter, and so we're going to have some attrition just because Athens is a drinking town with a football problem. So it's going to be all good.
Well, I see on Facebook, got Amy Brewer, my cousin's over there. She said, love you guys, and Kevin Parker. I could watch a few more things because Billy is at mission control. He's at the center of all the action, so I can watch some of the comments a little bit better. But let's talk about this problem that just isn't isolated to Georgia. You know, Tennessee's had our problems, Billy. Alabama, you name the school, they've had kids get in trouble. What do you think about kids get in trouble, and how do you remedy that? Is it a coaching issue? Is it not enough leadership on the team? What does Billy Ratliff think about kids getting in trouble on these football teams?
Well, it always goes back to where, you know, there's no I in team, you know, and these guys understand the consequences that they face when they get in trouble. You know, all the coaches, they always tell these guys, you know, you can't get in trouble, don't do this, don't do that. And of course, you know, there's some guys that just can't do that. You know, there's always that one guy that's going to go out and show out and do the things he's not supposed to do. But I really think that, you know, I'm very surprised that we've just now hearing any issues go on with any team in SEC like this. And I hate the fact that it's, you know, it's a Georgia, you know, SEC school that is happening, but I'm glad it's not a volunteer.
Well, I'm sure we're not immune to it, but who was it on your team that was the policeman that everybody was afraid of messing up because they knew that so-and-so was going to come knocking on their door, their dorm room door? Who was it on your team? Was there one, or was there two or three?
Well,
who was it that everybody was accountable to?
Well, I'll tell you this, man. It was multiple guys. I mean, it was pretty much the whole team. You know, if one person got in trouble, everybody was in trouble. So you didn't want that to happen for the whole team to be on your tail in practice, after practice, or, you know, the coach is going to run you and do these things. Because if the whole team is running, guess what? There's going to be problems with that one guy that did get in trouble. You know, practice going to be a lot harder for you. And, you know, as with Coach Foreman, when I played, you know, those little beady eyes he had that just scared you when you thought you was going to be in trouble anytime he looked at you. You don't want to get in trouble with those guys. You know, and you got Coach Chavers. You know, those guys was no one to play with at those times. So we stayed straight in my days. I mean, it was an easy process for us. We had some guys that was out of hand, but they stayed in control.
Well, I know Al Wilson was probably a leader, like you said, and, you know, in your early days, Peyton Manning, you had all those guys that were leaders and coaches, and, you know, I don't put this on really anybody, but kids are going to be kids. I don't know if there's a generational difference, because I'm sure there wasn't as much kids getting in trouble back in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, but I'm sure there were. But let's talk about some Final Four. But before we do, I don't have the phone number up there. We forgot to do our phone number, but the Hound Dogs hotline is open, 855-489-7623. That's 855-489-7623. All right, Billy, when I was there at your house, we were sitting on the couch chit-chatting, and you was telling me that you're, what, first or second place in your pool on your bracket, your NCAA bracket. Tell us about it.
All right, now, you know, I got Michigan State and still got Virginia in it, but, of course, I got Michigan State winning it all. And, of course, a lot of guys in the bracket, you know, they had Duke, you know, North Carolina, Tennessee. You know, of course, I had Tennessee winning one of my brackets, but I had Michigan State winning all in another bracket. So right now in the top 10, you know, I still have the only Michigan State bracket winning it all. Everybody else has Virginia winning it. So right now I'm hoping and praying that Auburn comes through and beat the Cavaliers for me. Therefore, I know I got an automatic win.
Well, I hope you do win you some money. My brackets, I only filled out one bracket, and I didn't have Michigan State in it. I didn't have Virginia in it. I think I had Duke, Tennessee. I can't remember, but I don't have anybody in the Final Four. So I'm down. I'm out for the count. Do you even know what basketball is there, couch coach, or do you follow it at all?
Is that an intramural sport? I think that's kind of like hacky sack in Athens. I'm not really sure. Is that like disc golf or some of these other things that we like to pretend that are cool? I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar.
Well, you're going to be. I tell you what, y'all Georgia fans are going to be y'all are acting like what's basketball, but when Tom Crean gets you guys good, y'all going to know what basketball is. So don't be playing no games with me. But I tell you what, guys, we're going to have something that I've been talking about for a couple of months. We're going to try to do it tomorrow or Sunday. I still don't know when, but we're going to have old school wrestling versus new WWE call-in show. Me and Couch Coach, maybe Matt Downs. We're going to try to do that sometime tomorrow, but I tell you what, there ain't nothing like old school wrestling. These guys today I couldn't even name you two. I don't even know. Who's the hot wrestler right now in WWE or Couch Coach?
Well, honestly, I have to pull from that too, but Brock Lesnar's still in there. Triple H is still in there. Roman Reigns for a while was sick, and now he's coming back. You got Seth Rollins. He's kind of a big name. Daniel Bryan, he's a big name. And actually, the big stuff that's really interesting now is that the women's division has gotten a lot better. Like, it used to just be kind of a, cat kind of clawing kind of thing back in the 80s. But, man, some of these women can really go now. I know Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte in particular, she's really, really good. So that's kind of the push now. But obviously, old school wrestling is where it's at. And if you grew up in the South, you knew about wrestling. And we don't say wrestling, we say wrestling. And all over the place, whether you're talking about the 70s, 80s, the 90s, those were kind of the benchmark years. So those of you who like wrestling, please tune in this weekend. For those of you who don't, we sincerely apologize.
Well, I tell you what, I'm old school wrestling. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, was my boy. One of the most defining moments in my life was 1979, the NWA tournament championship down in Tampa, I think, between Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes. So the wrestling guys, they've got to use pyrotechnics and a lot of lights and a lot of stuff. But Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair and Jerry Lawler, all those, man, they didn't need that. The Four Horsemen. I don't know. Did you ever watch wrestling growing up, Billy?
I did watch wrestling, man. I was the Junkyard Dog, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, all those guys, man. It was fun back in the days, man. It's just kind of how boxing has went away. It's none of that stuff, all the fake stuff. But I do miss wrestling, man. I didn't even know wrestling still existed. So that's why, when you said wrestling and you showed all these things on Facebook, I was like, wow, I didn't realize wrestling was still even going on. Yeah, so I'm going to check it out myself then.
You may have to join in. I remember the Junkyard Dog. I remember all the, man, I tell you what, I made a post, I don't know, months ago about all the old school wrestlers and just trying to name them all. But that was a fun time. Y'all tune in. We're going to go to the phone lines. We've got Vol General. Man, we're lit up on the phone lines. Let's go to the 629 area code, see what Vol General has for Couch Coach, Catfish, and the legendary Billy Ratliff. What you got, buddy?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you.
Y'all hear about Rob Lanier, the Tennessee basketball? Did you hear about him?
Nope. Tell us.
Rob Lanier, he's the associate head coach. A lot of people call him the brains behind the operation with Tennessee basketball. He's got his first head coaching opportunity. He's leaving Tennessee for Georgia State to be the head coach. That's a big loss for Tennessee basketball, I'm not going to lie. But I do think that's not the last we'll see of him. I think when Rick Barnes retires, there's a good chance that's who you're looking at as the next head coach at Tennessee basketball. A lot of people circled the name that he's a coach in waiting. It was just rumors. And I think when Barnes retires, if he has some success at Georgia State, that's who we're looking at as the next head coach, just because of his connections with Barnes. But I do expect Barnes to be here for a little while longer, and that's why I was calling in. One of the reasons. How long do you think Barnes has? How many years do you think he's got left in the coaching?
I don't know. I think he's got 5 or 6 years left, don't you, Billy?
Yeah, I mean, that should be easy. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, what else you got there, Vol General? I've got a stack of them up here. You going to come see us April 13th? Come see me, Billy Ratliff, and BVD, and anybody else we can get to come out. Are you going to come out and see us?
I'll try to. I'll try to. I'm over here in the mid-state in Nashville, so I want to go to the spring game. I'm going to try to get over there, but if I can, I'll just call into your show again. And I'm already pegged since the basketball season is over to the football season. Looking at the schedule, I can see anywhere from 5-7 to 9-3. I mean, there's a couple games Tennessee can win that a lot of people think they have no chance at. I think I can see them beating Florida down there. I can see Florida sleeping on them a little. Georgia at home, I think the stars are aligning for Tennessee to maybe beat Georgia. But then again, if you lose to who you're supposed to, BYU can sneak up and beat you. UAB, they're a good team, and you could be looking at another 5-7. So it's really a matter of best case, worst case scenario here. And my prediction is 6-6 with this schedule. I do think Tennessee will get a big win somewhere throughout the season. The Vols have always been good for a good quality win that nobody anticipated them to win at the beginning of the season. For this year, we had 2. We had Kentucky and Auburn. Nobody would have expected us to win that game or for Auburn, they wouldn't have expected us to win at the beginning of the season. And then right before Kentucky, probably most people would have told you Kentucky was going to win that game. Now, like I said, we've always been good for an upset victory. Now, looking at this year's, I think we'll have one this year. I think it can be Florida, but I think it's a bad matchup for Tennessee. I don't think they'll beat Florida. Georgia, I think that's a good matchup for Tennessee with Jim Chaney leaving Georgia to come to Tennessee. I think Georgia might sleep on them a little. They blew Tennessee out 2 years in a row now. I think Tennessee can catch them off guard. Alabama, that one's not even possible. So, yeah, I think it could be Florida or Georgia, and probably I'm not predicting this to happen, but it would not be the most shocking thing in the world for me to see Tennessee beat Georgia next year.
Okay,
Coach.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Your turn.
I'm gonna chime in. Okay, so I know that the Vol General got a little huffy at me on that preview video I did, but the one thing I do like about the Vol General is you actually do have really good analysis. So forget my team and your team for a second. Give me a surprise team in the SEC, like a dark horse team in the SEC this year.
A dark horse?
A dark horse, like a team that.
Yeah, I think you got to. I mean, obviously the 2 front runners, Georgia and Florida. Dark horse, I think you got to go with Missouri.
Ooh,
they're going to be.
I like it.
Really?
I do.
You think Kelly Bryant can get that team a spark? I think they still got defensive problems. I don't even have Missouri making a bowl game. My surprise team, and I'd like to hear what Billy had to say, and I don't even know if it's a surprise team anymore because people are starting to talk about it. Now that I've talked about it, is Texas A&M. That's my surprise team. Don't be surprised or shocked if Texas A&M wins the West this year. Just don't be shocked. That's all I got to say.
Well, I mean, I feel the same. I mean, Texas A&M, they have a strong team. They got a lot coming back, and of course, I mean, I'm with the dark horse. I mean, Missouri's going to be a tough team to beat. I thought when they lost the quarterback that they'd be down, but they got somebody to replace him. So it's going to be a great team to watch this year.
I got a dark horse. You guys ready?
Yeah.
South Carolina.
No, come on.
South Carolina.
Come on, man.
That team, I'm telling you, that team is going to be about 9-4 this year. Muschamp is under the radar. I think if they put that Helinski kid in there, I think they're going to be better in 7-6 than they were last year. I think that too many people are overhyping that team. And if you're Georgia, I'm going to tell you this right now. South Carolina has a bye week before Georgia coming into Athens. So we didn't cover that spread against them 2 years ago. We were favored by 18. If that happens again, I am taking South Carolina on that plus 18, and we're going to be in a dogfight. Jake Bentley gets hot at the wrong time. That's a tough guy to deal with. When he's bad, he's bad. When he's good, he's good. And if I'm Georgia, that is a bad trap game on the schedule.
Football General, I've got a stack of calls. I appreciate you calling. Do you watch wrestling at all?
No.
All right, well, if you do, tune in tomorrow. And we'd love to see you come out April 13th. Make the track over there. But we're going to be doing several live streams. May break it up into segments. But appreciate you calling, buddy.
And one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
A team that I'm high on, it's Florida. I'm really high on Florida. You know, I mean,
oh, come on, man.
They've got Miami. They're beating Miami. They're beating UT Martin. They're beating Kentucky. They're probably beating Tennessee. They're probably beating Towson. They've got Auburn at LSU. That's the potential loss. They're beating South Carolina. Georgia, that's a potential loss. Vandy, Missouri, Florida State. I think you're looking at a 10-2, possible 11-1 season there, with only possible losses being to Georgia or LSU. I'm really high on Florida this year, and I wouldn't be shocked if they win.
Ryan, don't let that go to your head. Don't let that go to your head, Ryan. I know you're going to be in here. He's already tweeted or chatted, smart man. Yeah, Ryan's in there. Appreciate you calling there, Ball General. I've got a stack.
I wouldn't have even said it if I knew he was in there. All right, I'll let you get another call back.
Well, Josh Pinion said, I hope my son Sam is doing well. Here's an update. He's probably got 2 more weeks of chemo, and then he gets to come home. And I think, don't quote me on it, but I think he only has to go to St. Jude like every other week for a few days. So he's doing good. I appreciate everybody praying for him out there. But let's go to 865 area code. Let's see who this is. I don't know who it is. But what you got for Billy Ratliff and Catfish and Couch Coach?
You know who it is.
Oh, is this Crying Ryan? Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, God.
Did I drop him, Billy?
No, let him talk, man. Let him talk.
I'll just
All right. We'll give you a few minutes.
You're talking about wrestling. You're wrestling.
Make it interesting.
Hulk Hogan, that's the second best for wrestling. Current day wrestling, worst. The Attitude Era with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock,
sir.
Taker, Kane, that's prime.
I agree with that.
You don't have a personality like a Stone Cold or a Rock anymore, especially now that they went PG.
Yep, he speaks facts. Sometimes Florida fans are smart. You know, this is your time, so here you go.
But you're not old enough to have seen American Dream in its prime. You need to YouTube Dusty Rhodes, The American Dream, the best talker there was.
I still don't.
Well, Ryan,
he might be the best talker, but did he walk the walk like Stone Cold did, though?
Oh, yes, absolutely. He had that elbow. Oh, he had all kinds of moves, man. And he might have been fat, but he was an athlete. There was a lot of wrestlers that were athletes, that were football players and whatnot, but we're going to go into that tomorrow. I want to talk some football. Come on, Ryan. Talk to me. Who's your dark horse in the SEC?
Texas A&M and Missouri. Those are just what I think. I think A&M with Kellyman, whatever his name is, I think he's going to improve a lot. He was already really good last year. The only thing I have a problem with A&M is that they play Clemson again, which unless they somehow pull off a miracle, that's probably a loss on their schedule.
Yep.
Well, somebody, SEC dog said we need to shut up and let Billy talk. Talk to Ryan for a little while, Billy. Smack
Right.
him around a little bit.
Hey, Ron, he's on point today. I mean, those two dark horses, man, those gonna be two scary teams. So I can't be wrong with him. He's saying the right thing. So I can't do anything to protect you, Catfish. He got your game right there.
Do you think Dan Mullen is the right coach for Florida, Billy?
I mean, he's the guy, man. I mean, I don't know if they'll keep him there if he don't do the 10-1 like he's like the whatever. I mean, 10-2. He's gonna need a season like that to keep his job because you know how it is in SEC. If you're not winning, they're gonna get rid of you quick. So he needs a 10-2 this year.
Well, see, Ryan acts like Dan Mullen is the next Nick Saban. He's not the next Nick Saban. Do you think?
No, he has a long way before that happens, man. He don't have enough hours for that. You know, Nick Saban, oh man, that's great coach, man. It's hard to get a coach like that. I mean, Nick, oh Dan, he's a good one, but he's nowhere near what Nick is.
Oh me. What else you got, Ryan? You gonna come see us April 13th, or are you gonna chicken out?
I'm a chicken out. The Florida spring game's on the same day.
Who cares about Florida? Can you believe
I
that,
do.
Billy? He's gonna go watch. You're gonna watch the spring game for Florida instead of come see me and you and BVD. Can you believe that, Billy?
I see. Hey, I was trying to get a friend, man, but I guess we're gonna have to continue being your bodyguard now, Bobby.
All right, Ryan, we got to get off of here. We got BVD, I think. No, BVD ain't on here. I'm looking at these numbers. That ain't BVD. Who is this? We got Aaron Ross and Matt 7397. We're going to go to them. Appreciate it, Ryan. Let's see who we got here. We got Matt 7397's up next. Man, I haven't talked to you in a while, Matt. What's going on?
How you doing, y'all?
Excellent,
Pretty
sir.
good.
I'm just waiting on tomorrow to watch me some wrestling tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
I've been. I was listening to y'all talking about Dusty Rhodes. He's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
Three-time NWA champion, multiple-time TV champion, multiple-time tag team champion, United States champion a few times. Beat up on the Four Horsemen and Ric Flair, and Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson and Ole Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
He beat up
He's
on them all
spitting
the
some
time.
names, Couch Coach.
I'm
He's
telling you.
spitting out some
Hey.
good names.
Now, here's the thing about the Four Horsemen, because, Ric Flair, you hated Flair, but you kind of liked Ric Flair. But everyone just hated Tully Blanchard. I mean, he just brought that out of people, man. There was nothing likable about Tully. He just looked like a big old yuppie going through the airport. You just wanted to see Dusty Rhodes beat up on Tully Blanchard like nobody's business.
And he did it a few times. There's on the WB network. You sit there and watch it now. There's ladder matches. They had a bunch of cage matches up there. And it's a lot of fun watching Dusty Rhodes and Blanchard. Tully Blanchard, talk that talk and walk that walk, but when he met Dusty Rhodes, he knew he was getting that bionic elbow every time.
Yep.
But, I love the old Jim Crockett promotions back in the day. You sit there and watch the Road Warriors. And I grew up there, the Attitude Era, but my parents grew up there in the Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, I got to watch a lot of it on TV. So when that stuff, it's just about Tennessee game I was watching. So.
I think we're losing some connection. Does it sound like a bad connection to you, Billy?
Yeah, I think we're losing them right there.
Hey, Matt,
Can
so
you hear
you're
me
going to be able to are you going to be able to come out and see me and Billy Ratliff and BVD on the 13th?
I should be up there. Lord,
Well, we
willing.
hope to see everybody out there. We're going to be out there somewhere around 10:30 in the morning till about 3, and we're going to head over to the game. What do you think about it, the spring game being at night, Billy?
Well, I mean, I would say I would have loved to have a night game when I played, especially if it's going to be hot that day. Night games are the best because you don't have to get up too early, take your time, and get ready to go play a good game and have fun in front of the fans. So I like the idea of having a 6 o'clock game.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about it, Matt? Do you like that night game, or do you like it in the middle of, the normal 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Well, I've been to plenty of day spring games, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But it's going to be an enjoyable experience. I've been to a few night games in Neyland. Oh, they're always a blast, no matter if we win or lose, but I'd rather we win. But especially I was at the 04 Florida game. I was in that crowd with my dad, and it was so much fun being in that crowd and that environment. And it was a lot of fun.
What was it like, Billy, on them spring games as a player? What did you enjoy the most, and what did you not like the most on the spring game day?
Well, the thing I did like about it, though, Catfish, was just going out there and just, having fun and kicking tail, we treated it just like a real game, I know that was my teammates that I was playing against, but, of course, I'm trying to beat you because I'm trying to earn a position. And it was no hard feelings. And the things that I disliked was, let's say that we're playing the ones against the twos, and the twos are kicking the ones' tails, and they take you out, so you can't kick the ones' tails. And it was something I didn't like. And, of course, not being able to touch the quarterbacks. With the green and red jersey, you couldn't get to the quarterbacks and just had to play two-hand touch. So it was something else when you had to try to touch a quarterback because it's hard to get them in the game and also hard to get them in practice. So that was one thing I didn't like.
I think we got somebody that's got some audio going on our show in the background, and it's lagging behind. I don't know who it is. But anyway, what else you got, Matt?
I was wondering when you was doing the live stream for tomorrow. I'd like to answer that.
It's going to depend on how much driving I can get in tonight and my cell signal, because I'm going to be running that show. If I can get Billy to do it with me, then I don't have to have that much internet. But I don't know if Billy's going to be able to do it. I'm going to talk to him after the show. If he's able to do it, we'll post it up on Facebook, and maybe I'll post it on YouTube. But you've got the bell notification checked on the Volunteer Roadshow, don't you?
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll try to announce it on our Facebook page.
All right.
But anyway, I appreciate your call. We're going to go. Go ahead.
My sleeper picks, this might surprise some people, but my sleeper picks for the SEC this year might be Auburn. I might pick Auburn because, Gus Malzahn, he might be pushing to a little bit of a corner here and having so much backlash from the fans and how bad they've done this past season. He might want to rev some things up and it's trying to turn it around a little bit. And if he can turn some obvious losses into some wins, he can. That's the thing, though. He's got to win games. He's iffy on wins, but I think if Gus Malzahn can get the team turned towards him, he's got good 8, 9 possible, at least 8 to 9 win season on his hands, better than last season.
What do you think about that, Billy?
Well, Auburn, they was loaded too. These guys, they have a coach that's been there for a long time. So, when people say rebuilding, I call it reloading because these guys had a lot of guys that are coming back. So, it could be a good team. Hopefully they can beat Alabama. I would love for that to happen. So, I like it.
Well, Yeah, Auburn.
Might as well
I mean,
move to Vegas.
I think Auburn is a team that I think if they can get some sense. I think Stidham's gone, isn't he?
He's gone.
Stidham at
Yes,
quarterback.
he's gone.
Yes, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
And there's a few pieces here and there, but I think if they can just get some stability at quarterback, they'll be they'll have more wins than they had last season at least.
Yeah, that's the big question mark with Auburn is just that quarterback piece, because I think we've seen it with Gus to where if he doesn't have that quarterback right, the team goes 6-6. But if he can get that running game with the quarterback piece kind of there, then it really can get to a team kind of deal where they can be a very dangerous team like they were in 2017, of course, 2013, 2010. But it's really just contingent on that. And the thing I hate about Auburn is they're very – Gus always is trying to get these transfer guys to come in there and try to be his quarterback. I just don't like how he develops guys. But, yeah, I mean, I think that Auburn has the kind of team that if you go into their place and they get hot at the right moment, they can beat you. So it's not a bad pick.
Yeah.
Well, I've always said Auburn seems to catch lightning in a bottle about every 3 years, and who knows what Auburn's going to do. If I could even come close to predicting what Auburn's going to do, I'd just move to Vegas. But anyway, Matt, we're going to go grab another line. Got Aaron Ross on hold, and I really hope to see you out there. The phone lines are open, 855-489-7623, and we got Aaron Ross from Maryville. Good to have you on, Aaron. It's been a while since I heard from you.
Yeah, work sucks.
What you got, buddy?
Hey, man, every team that's in the Final Four, I didn't have any of them picked to be there. My Final Four picks were Duke, Tennessee, Gonzaga, and North Carolina. So I was wrong all across the board. But
I think BVD had Texas Tech, I think, in one of his brackets. I thought he was crazy, but he turned out to be right on that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Tennessee season? We haven't talked to you since the season's over. How do you feel about the season as a whole?
it was disappointing, but at the same time, it was a great season. A six-loss season in basketball is always a great season. Making it to the Sweet 16 is a pretty big deal, and I see a lot of Tennessee fans that are mad, and I get that because, like I said, it was disappointing. I had higher expectations, but at the same time, it was a big deal what Tennessee was able to accomplish this season.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about coming out and seeing us April 13th? You going to come see me and Billy and BVD?
Oh, I will. I go to that spring game every year, and I am actually glad that they're doing a late game this year because every single year, without fail, I go to that game. I come home with a sunburn, and it's just not fun because it gets hot here in East Tennessee way earlier than it should be. We've had a couple of days where it's nearly 80 degrees this week. So yeah, I'm going to be happy that it'll be in the evening and cooled off.
I've got a question for you, Billy.
Talk to
After this spring game, Saturday night, what happens? Is there any more practices after the game before summertime, or is the game the end of it? Tell everybody that's watching what happens between the spring game and the summer when practice starts.
Well, I mean, spring practice is for the young guys, really, though. Just trying to find depth anyway. And once you find that depth, you go back to the drawing boards and basically see who you got that's going to work for you in the fall. And basically what the players going to be doing is going back to the weight room, getting stronger, getting faster, and find out what they didn't do well on the field in the spring game. So it's going to be a lot of working out, a lot of sweat, and getting ready for the season. So there's no off days after the spring game. It is work, work, work.
Now, I thought they just had voluntary meetings after the spring game. So it's not. So you're saying it's voluntary, but involuntary.
Well, well, they call it involuntary in a sense, but it is voluntary because you still, the coaches are not supposed to be out there doing anything with you, which they're not, but you still have the strength and conditioning coaches that are out there helping out. So I guess that they're not considered your coaches. So I guess that's why it's still called voluntary, but I call it involuntary because you still got people out there pushing you, telling you you can't be late and things like that. So I'm shocked that it's still called voluntary.
Well, I see we got our regular Billy, Shane Bentley, biggest supporter of the show as far as Super Chat to Patreon. Says, good evening, Roadshow Nation. I hope y'all are doing well. Good to see Mr. Ratliff be able to grace his presence on the show. I think he's talking about your own webcam now. See, everybody wants to see you.
Hey,
I don't want to see a picture. They like to see Mr. Ratliff.
Hey, I'm just glad I see myself. I forgot how I look. I ain't know. I mean, I don't think I look too bad on camera. So let me see. There we go.
What do y'all think about this? I'm going to watch the chat. What do y'all think about this new setup? Do y'all like it? Do you not like it? But anyway, Aaron, do you have anything else for us? Somebody, before you go, hold on. I hear Ross's daddy's on next. I think it might be BVD. But anyway, what else you got for Billy and myself and Couch Coach?
Y'all were talking about wrestling, and y'all are going to hate me, but I have never once watched wrestling in any kind of real capacity. But over the years, I have had the opportunity to meet wrestlers such as Kane and Ric Flair and Dwayne Johnson. That was really cool. I just met Ric Flair last summer at a expo in Knoxville that he came to. That was pretty fun. But I've never really watched it in any real capacity.
Yeah,
well, you're not old enough.
Well, you bring up a good point on that because, a lot of these Comic Cons now have added a lot of these wrestlers in, like Sting and Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. And so that's kind of an audience they've branched out into. And just kind of meeting Ric Flair myself, I remember one time I saw him at a Crowne Plaza Ravinia sipping on a martini. I walked up to him, looked at him, and said, "You son of a beat." And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, "I'm never going to forgive you for what you did to Ricky Steamboat and Sting." And he started kind of laughing back at me. But I just told him, listen, I was like, listen, man, I'm not going to ask you for an autograph or nothing. I just appreciate what you guys do. And thank you for giving me hours of entertainment. And he goes, well, I appreciate that, man. I really do. So they're all pretty good guys. And it's fun that you get to meet those people in person.
Yeah, I was able to get all three of their autographs. I don't know what I did with Ric Flair's. I think I put it in a folder somewhere and lost it. I don't know. But I've got my autographed picture of Kane hanging on my wall.
Well, Aaron, I've got to catch another call, but I see on Facebook we got Kerry Hooper, I think I pronounced that right, that says, VFL Billy Ratliff. He says, I see you, bruh. And Matthew Haskett is over there. Dustin Graham, how y'all doing? Is that somebody you know there, Billy?
Yeah, that's old Kerry Hooper. I used to work with him back in the day when I was with T-Mobile in the day. So, yeah, so that's good people there.
We're glad to have you watching. We're going to go to the phone lines, and let's see what we got here. We've got a 423. Let me drop this call and pick up the next one. Been on hold a while. What you got for us there? 423 area code. Who is this?
Hey y'all, this is Coach Ed Orgeron down here at LSU. I want to call and talk to old Billy Ratliff here. Back when I was coaching, going through his recruitment, I tried to build a relationship with Billy, and he turned me down to that old fat Phil Fulmer guy. And I just want to call in and say, Billy, go Tigers.
What's happening, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Hey, did you, Billy? Did Ed Orgeron try to recruit you when you were in your recruitment?
Yes. I mean, actually, at LSU, I'm trying to see who was the coach there. Jerry Donato was the coach then. When I was
right. I was trying to figure out where he was at. I don't know if he was at Ole Miss or I can't remember, to be honest. Maybe somebody in the chat can look that up for us.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he was at. Well, I mean, of course, I
just called to rein this. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know if he was wanting to recruit me back then. I was a linebacker, so I don't know if he wanted a linebacker or not back then. So could have been something different.
I tell you what. Oh, he was at Syracuse. Okay. Well, no wonder. Oh, Billy didn't want to go up there and play northern ball, did you?
No, I don't.
He knew where it was at.
Not with the snow. No snow for me. Too cold up there for me. Too cold.
Hey, what I want to know.
Go ahead and do some name dropping. Who all in the SEC recruited you, Billy?
I mean, I was recruited by all the schools in the SEC. It was just more for me with the recruiting process was just being comfortable with the teammates and players and stuff. So it was totally different in my recruitment time.
Go ahead, BVD.
I want to know this. You guys have been talking wrestling and basketball and all kinds of stuff in here while I've been listening. What I want to know the important stuff here, and that's my job as a caller to your show and on my show. I try to bring the important stuff to the table for all of our viewers. I want to know. And I know Catfish wants to know, who would win an arm wrestling match between Billy Ratliff and Darwin Walker?
Well, I'll answer that for you real quick. Darwin can have it.
Yeah, I kind of figured you might say that.
Yeah, Darwin was a strong guy, man.
Guys, I was going to say, tell these guys how big that dude's arms were.
Man, Darwin was huge, man. Darwin, I mean, he's not as big now, but he was a huge guy, man. You're talking about a guy that can throw up 550 pounds on the bench press. That wasn't easy to push, and you don't mess with a guy like that when he got arms that looks like legs.
Yeah, that was 550. That's just ridiculous. I mean, there's guys, I'm sure you guys had dudes on the team that couldn't squat that back then.
That's true, and I was one of those guys, too.
Well, you didn't want to get your legs built up too big like that. We needed your speed, right? We need Billy's speed.
You're right about that. That's all it was, speed, man. I didn't want to be big like that. I wanted to be strong like that, but it just didn't work out for me. The good Lord didn't make me that strong.
Hey, he made you strong enough. You made your mark, and you were. Yeah, unfortunately for Tennessee fans, I hope it isn't so, but you were part of what may be, the last national championship team for Tennessee for a while. I know Couch Coach
Cue the sad music. Cue the sad music all of a sudden.
Yeah, give me some violins in here. I mean, tell them, Billy and Catfish, it's hard times right now. It's hard work being a Tennessee fan.
Hey, it's tough. It's tough, man. Hey, we coming back. No, I'm telling you, 15-0.
That's right. I promise you that.
Catfish has already got him. You know what? You would expect a real VFL to say that. So I'm proud of you, Billy.
Appreciate you, man.
Proud of you, man.
Thank you for calling, man. Thank you.
Hey, I'll see you guys next Saturday. I'm going to drop off of here and let somebody else get on and talk to the legend and the legend and the couch dog.
And the scrub. Yeah, hey, listen, I want to say something to you, BVD, for real, man. I'm glad that you're doing all right, and we were worried about you a couple weeks ago, so I'm glad you're, among the living with us and feeling better, real talk.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. It really does. At the risk of sounding like a smart aleck, I'm glad I'm still with you, too. I'm not ready to, I want to see Jesus someday, just not this day, So... You guys enjoy your Friday night, and if you're not too terribly busy later on tonight, maybe you can come over and spend a few minutes with me on my live stream, and we'll talk about some silly stuff.
Well, we got some open lines. I see Uncle Lou said he has some questions. It's 855-489-7623. Call the Hound Dogs hotline, and I guess we're about done if we don't get a call. This is great. I like this new technology. I'm in Arkansas. Billy's in the Volunteer Roadshow studios back in East Tennessee. And we've got the live chat lit up. I've been trying to watch Facebook at the same time because we are simulcasting on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. I tell you what, it wasn't that long ago. We couldn't even have dreamed of doing anything like this. I was talking to Billy yesterday about when he was in school, he had to use a calling card to call back home, and all these guys they've got Skype, they got Facebook Messenger, they got cell phones that can do anything you want to do, and just things have changed, and I hope that we're putting on a good product. I really do. That's what we care about the most, ain't it, Billy?
Hey, that's true, man. I'm just glad we got communications that we can stay in touch a lot easier than where it was when we grew up. So I'm loving it right now. I love it.
Yeah, me too. What you got? Anything else, Scouts coach and Billy, before we cut this thing off?
Yeah, I just want to say that for you guys, please turn in tomorrow for our wrestling show. I mean, it's a different kind of deal. We're just going to chop up some different memories there. Just kind of a cool kind of off-season topic for those of you who are really into that. I mean, the goal is to try to do it during the day before Final Four action. But, yeah, I mean, it's for those of you who are interested, you seem really interested. And I figure, it's something that Catfish and I have talked about for a couple months here to try to do some kind of wrestling show and just take it down memory lane, especially for those of you in the South, and just kind of bring different ideas of what people in the South like, whether it's food, tailgate, visiting, spring games, whatever. So that's just going to be kind of a fun deal that we do tomorrow, and hopefully y'all will tune in.
Well, somebody over here is saying they're laughing at Uncle Lou. I need to go see what Uncle Lou said. Glad to have you on the show, Uncle Lou. What was Uncle Lou saying? Let's see. I can't hardly see these chats like I used to be able to see them. Let's see. What did Uncle Lou say? Billy, you have any eligibility left? They need all the help they can get. No, he don't, but I'm going to give Billy my eligibility. Is that possible? Can I transfer my eligibility to you, Billy, and you go out there and suit them up?
Well, Bobby, I tell you this, if you give it to me, if I can use your legs, I'll go out there and tear them up, man.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we're going to end this show. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. This show was built for you, the fans. It belongs to you, and I hope we see y'all out there next Saturday, not this Saturday, but April 13th, at the Orange and White game at Hound Dogs between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Me, Billy, BVD, we're going to be out there, and hope to see you guys out there. So those of you on Facebook, check us out on YouTube. Those of you on YouTube, check out the Volunteer Roadshow page on Facebook. But we're going to get on out of here. So thanks for tuning in. Go Vols. We're going 15-0. I promise you that.
I'm with you.
All right, guys, Billy. Anytime you want to hit that end stream, hit that stop stream.